Hi, and welcome to The Curling Show, the podcast that brings you interviews with the sport's top athletes and the people who shape the game. Brought to you by Fit to Curl, a sport-specific guide to training for the world's greatest game, the stocking stuffer of choice for curlers everywhere, and authored by Olympic gold medalist, Team Martin third, and blogger at curling.ca, John Morris, with a bit of help from me, Dean Gemmell. There's still time to get a copy for the holidays and give the curlers on your list something they can read to avoid the in-laws. And if they follow the programs in the book, they should feel better on the ice, make a few more shots, and brush more effectively in the new year. You can buy Fit to Curl at fittocurl.com or at your favorite pro shop. He's the critical piece of the team that just may be the hottest rink on the Asham World Curling Tour, lead man Denni Neufeld. Welcome to the Curling Show.
Thanks, Dean. Appreciate it.
Hey, first, let's talk about last night's game at the Canada Cup out there in Medicine Hat against Jeff Stoughton. Just your basic steal 3, give up 4, win an 8 sort of matchup, I guess, and lots of funny scores across all the sheets last night. Was the ice funky, or were the players?
No, the ice was pretty good. It was more the players that were funky than anything. Yeah, we jumped out to a little bit of a lead there, stealing 1 in the first and then 3 in the second, and then we just got really unlucky in the third on Mike's first rock. We were playing kind of a pick, and Jeff had one really froze into one of ours on the back 4, and it didn't squeeze all the way out of the house like we thought it would. And then on Mike's last one, we drew a round 2 in the top 4, and we buried it right, but we lined up a double for Jeff to stick and get 4. So it was kind of we weren't looking too bad in the whole end. There was no guards. It was just one of those things that, after the end you look at it and you just think, wow, how did that happen?
And then you recover and go on to win in, an 8 or 9 ends? How many did you go?
We went 8, yeah. We played really well after that. We battled back and kind of got our deuce, held them to 1, got our deuce kind of thing, and then Jeff came heavy on a draw in the 8th end against 3. So
now, you've managed to play Jeff quite a bit already this season. A little bit extra on the line, I guess, because right now that's shaping up as the 2 best teams in Manitoba. Maybe Rob Fowler would take exception to that, but certainly looks that way to most of us. Do you feel a little bit extra when you play Jeff?
I think so. I mean, we believe on our team, I think that there's a little bit of a rivalry there just because they are from our province, and we do play them for our provincial championship, and we fell short a little bit last year. He played great in that final provincial game, so we do get up a little bit more maybe to play him than we do some of the other teams.
It's also week 4 of your team's curling Odyssey, and it's been awfully successful so far. You win your first Capital One Grand Slam in Windsor. You successfully defend your title at the Sun Life Classic in Brantford, and you take the winner's pile of cash at the Challenge Casino de Charlevoix in Quebec. Now you're 2-0 at the Canada Cup after beating Jeff and a tenacious young Matt Cam rink. Are you guys sort of thinking like hot golfers sometimes do, and you just want to keep playing until you don't win an event?
Yeah, I mean, when you're going good, you want to keep playing. That's absolutely, and we're 4 guys that our schedules kind of allow for that. So when you're hot, you want to keep going because you never know when you can get on streaks like this again. I mean, personally, I've never won as many games in a row as we have now, and I mean, we're 14 wins in our last 14 and 19 out of our last 20. So I mean, that doesn't come around too often in the league that we play in.
So when was your last loss in Brantford, I guess? Who beat you there?
Yeah, we lost to Medaw in Brantford.
Right, you lost to Wayne.
Semi, yeah.
Speaking of Wayne, you guys captured the Swiss Chalet national. No, sorry, you guys captured the World Cup of Curling, the first Capital One Grand Slam. Outside, you look at the record in these things, in the Grand Slams. Outside of Brad Gushu's win at the Swiss Chalet National last year, it's been years since one has been won by someone not named Martin, Howard, Stoughton, Furby, or Medaw. When you first started playing men's, did you think it would be this long before, a new crew like this one managed to get a win like that?
Well, I mean, those are definitely the toughest spiels that we play in throughout the year. So, I mean, I knew that it wasn't going to come easy. I mean, we are 4 guys that are pretty dedicated to the game and each other, and we put in a lot of time and effort to, keep improving. And, I always feel that if you keep improving and you keep practicing, good things will happen. And this year we've kind of maybe, gone over that edge or hit another level that, we're just realizing we can do now. We know that we have some supporters behind us knew we could get there, and now we're kind of realizing it ourselves. So, I mean, yeah, I did think it might take a little time. I mean, beating those guys on a regular basis is pretty tough.
You know, a lot of people refer to you as a young team, and while you're youngish, I don't think you've been at it, like you said, putting a lot of work in for quite a while, and I think that sort of says two things. It says how good the guys like Kevin and Glenn and Wayne and Jeff and Randy have been. It also says what you have to do. What's a typical, when you guys are back home in Winnipeg, on those rare times when you're not traveling, I guess, what's a typical practice week like for you guys?
Well, I mean, we practice a lot together. We have a lot of team practices, and usually our team practices consist of some drills that we do, and then we also try to have a little bit of fun too. We play a lot of 2-on-2 games against each other. Usually, me and Matt against BJ and Mike, and our practices probably last 2 hours. And I would say when we're home, we throw every day. So I mean, we have two clubs predominantly that we play out of. We throw out of the Asham Memorial Curling Club, and then we've also become associate memberships at the Fort Rouge this year as well, just because I moved a little further away from the Assiniboine this year, and it's just a little more convenient for me. So, we practice a lot, more than I ever have with any other team. That's for sure.
How about that? A team accommodating the lead. That's unusual there.
Well, I mean, it's nice that the boys, see that I'm a little further away now. I mean, for me to drive to Assiniboine is 25-30 minutes, and Fort Rouge is only 10. So I mean, it's quite a bit better for me. And when I'm at home, I still have to pay the bills with my regular job. So I mean, I have to deal with that as well.
You spoke about having fun during practice. I talked to Mike earlier in the year, and we discussed how you guys were going to try and loosen up a bit on the ice. I saw you play in Brantford, and it looked like there were maybe a few more smiles than in the past. I'm just trying to figure out if that's just because you're winning, which always helps team chemistry, or are you guys really trying to find that fine line where you can maintain the intensity but also manage to relax a bit?
Yeah, when you play as much as we do, I mean, you have to have some kind of relaxation. If it's always just stressful and go, then it becomes difficult with the amount that we play. I mean, this is 6 out of the last 7 weeks for us in a row. So, I mean, when you play that much, then you have to find some kind of easiness to it. Otherwise, it gets too hard, and then you can start getting at each other's throats.
That's for sure. I mean, I think, well, for whatever the reasons, other people have noted it too, that you do seem a little more relaxed on the ice. It won't be long, of course, before your team's focus shifts from the World Curling Tour to the Safeway Championship. We talked about Jeff Stoughton earlier. You talked about, you beat him in the Slam final. And I think maybe Jeff has and his team have certainly over the years have certainly elevated the play of other teams in Manitoba. But do you ever go to bed and just sort of hope that you'll wake up and find out that he and John Meade have retired?
No, you know what? I really don't. I mean, when I win my Safeway Championship, and hopefully it comes soon, I want to be able to say that I beat the best of the best. So, they're a great team, and I love playing against them, and it makes it that much more enjoyable when you can beat the best. It means that much more when you do win.
Since you're from Manitoba, of course, there's also the truncated Jason Gunnlaugson Russian Curling Federation experiment to discuss. Jason's team was cleared, I guess, by the WCF, the CCA, and Curl Manitoba to play in this year's provincial playdowns. What's your opinion of that decision?
Yeah, I'm in a little bit of conflict with that, just because I feel that he made a decision to try to represent another country on a world stage, and just because it didn't work out for him, I don't know if the CCA should have allowed him to come back and at least play this year in playdowns and the select and the Brier if he makes it there. It just, maybe for me, it might open a can of worms with other nations trying to take Canadian curlers and pay them to play and take them away from our country.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one because, you could argue that, the argument has always been that you can't play down from different places for the same championship. And then I guess the question became, though, did they really play down by playing in Russia? I don't know. It's a tough one. It was a tough call. Yeah. I can see both sides on that. I do think that that might be the end of Canadian curlers going elsewhere for a while, but We'll
I
see.
would assume, yeah. I mean, obviously there was some issues that weren't panned out before they jumped on board. So.
Yeah, a lot of people criticize them for that, but I'm sure they're negotiating with the Russian Curling Federation is no picnic either.
Absolutely, I don't think it was an easy task.
Yeah, and at some point they probably just had to take a few leaps of faith, and it didn't work out. But hey, your team, like most out there these days, trains hard off the ice too for your sport. You talked about how much you practiced. I'm not promoting a fitness book or anything like that, but how important is fitness when it comes to your success?
It's huge. It's huge. I mean, it just brings your team to the next level, especially the front end and sweepers. I mean, they need to be in shape. They need to be able to, be at their top physical condition to, especially if you have a 3-game day or you're playing in a high pressure event. That just keeps you staying mentally focused and everything else. So fitness is huge in our game now. It's definitely become a huge issue.
You guys also went big on branding this year for your own team. You've got a team logo, a pretty sweet site at McEwenCurling.com, and the Twitter posts seem to be frequent. Your fifth player, I think I've got this right, Kevin Michaluk. How do I say that?
Yeah.
I'm not Manitoban enough to get that right. Seems to be behind most of it. Are we going to see Kevin on the ice this year, or is he the social media guru?
Well, he is definitely a social media guru, and that's probably one of the main reasons why we brought him on board this year. He will be he'll make an appearance at a few events for sure. I believe he's coming to the next Slam in Vernon with us, and for sure in the select, and hopefully we can get him to a Briar as well. So yeah, he will make his some appearances. As for playing, he might not do a lot of playing, but he'll be there to help us out off the ice for sure.
I think it's a good way to go, offer somebody that carrot for the off-ice help and get them to sort of feel like they're part of it. And not a bad idea for a team like yours. Hey, let's talk, Denny, quickly about the fact you play lead in men's. You played lead with this team for a while. But I'm sure growing up, and I know growing up, you didn't always play lead. You're like a lot of guys who come out as good juniors and go into men's and wind up on a good men's team playing lead, and probably not a position you played in junior. How do you adjust to playing the position? What do you think are the challenges of it now, besides the routine boredom of it? What else is challenging about it?
Well, I mean, it's in our game now. The lead rocks are pretty important. I mean, if you're not setting up ends properly, then you can get your team into a lot of trouble later on. So, I mean, it becomes important in terms of the boringness or the routine shots that I play. I mean, throwing one in the house and then guarding it, throwing one in the house and then guarding it. I take pride in trying to be able to place my rocks in the absolute perfect spots, and from time to time you get to play some hack weight shots and some tick shots and stuff that really mix it up. So I enjoy it. I enjoy lead. I embrace the spot and I embrace the position. So I like where I am right now.
I think that's the way to approach it. That's for sure. Like Craig Saville and others have said, Craig on this show, that you can. It never feels like you can win a game for your team at lead, but you sure feel like you can lose one, don't you?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
All right, Denny, we finished with the run back. Well, actually, before we go real quick, you've got Kevin Martin this afternoon, 1:30, I think, Mountain Time out there in Medicine Hat. Last time you guys stole 4 on Kevin, sent everyone scrambling to see when the last time that happened against the Kevin Martin team. I don't know if anybody actually figured it out, but what are you expecting from them? I'm thinking they may want to send a message.
Yeah, I think they'll be coming out pretty strong today. We'll have to play our best to keep up with them. They're still, in my mind, the best team in the world. So, yeah, we have our hands full this afternoon, that's for sure.
Well, hopefully you have a good crowd in. What have the crowds been like out in Medicine Hat?
Oh, they haven't been that bad. I mean, I thought when I was talking to some of the organizers before the event started, they were kind of a little bit down in the ticket sales. But I mean, I thought the crowds weren't bad last night. I
don't know much about Medicine Hat, but I did once get my car repaired there. So some 20 years ago.
It's a city of about 65,000 from what I've been told. So it's a good sized city.
All right. Well, they were good to me as I was driving across the country with an alternator that blew in an old car. But anyways, all right, Denny, we finished with a run back. I give you a topic. You give me your thoughts in 1 to 3 words.
Sure.
2013 curling trials in Winnipeg.
I would love to see it there.
You'd like it there, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be amazing.
The new equalizer brush heads from Balance Plus.
You know what? We haven't had a chance to try them out. We do have a couple. We just got a couple last week. So we haven't tried them out yet, but supposedly they are the be-all and end-all right now in curling brushes.
Playing 10 ends this weekend instead of 8.
I like 8. I would rather play 8 than 10. It seems so much longer out there.
It does. It's amazing how those extra 2 ends, it just seems like an eternity. Curling in Quebec.
It was great, a great experience. I mean, Charlevoix knows how to put on a pretty good show. They put us up at the Fairmont there. It was fantastic.
First time you've ever played out there in Quebec?
No, we played in a slam in Quebec City.
Oh, right. That's
as well.
true.
So, yeah, it was good.
Marcel Rock sparing for Ryan Fry.
Hey, I mean, Ryan told me last week that he has a lot of work to do at home. So, I mean, you could ask. I mean, Marcel's a great player, so I'm sure he's filling in very nicely there.
What job does Ryan have? I didn't know he would be taken away. I thought he worked at the curling club, actually, at the Ballet Holly or whatever.
I think, I'm not sure exactly what his position is, but I think he might be some kind of food or beverage manager at a golf course there.
Oh, at the country club.
I believe it's called. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
WikiLeaks.
Sorry?
WikiLeaks.
WikiLeaks?
Yeah. Are you following the news, or are you just curling for the last 4 weeks?
I'm just curling. I don't know.
Well, there's a big to-do out there, Denny, about these WikiLeaks and the WikiLeaks page. But you might want to pick up a paper in the morning, all right?
I will do that.
Good Lord. Matt Wozniak's Movember effort.
Oh, it was great. He did a great job, and I believe he raised some money. So it looked good out there. We were sad to see it go. We called it the cash stash. We won a lot of cash with that mustache.
Yeah, it might have been the lucky stash. Well, it's tough to. I mean, he did have a porny look to it, that's for sure. But, it's tough to do that without doing that. But good for him for making it happen. Yeah. Hey, was he allowed to tell people that he was doing it for Movember? I know some guys have done it, and they have a rule that you can't tell people why you're doing it.
No, I think he was able to tell people that why he was doing it. Yeah. Otherwise, it looked a little creepy.
Yeah, it makes it especially awkward when you can't tell people why you're doing it. You have to just say, "Oh, I like it." You know, that throws people. All right, Vic and Daly Peters, part 2.
I mean, they'll play as long as they feel they're competitive. That's for sure. I mean, Daly's a great player, and Vic's also a great player. So, I mean, I don't know how long they'll play together, but they are both great players. That's for sure.
You played with Daly in junior, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I played with him 1 year in my last year junior.
Yeah, I don't think he puts as much time into the game as you do. Maybe.
No, maybe he hasn't found the right group of guys that he feels like he needs to put in the time and effort. But I mean, he's a great shooter. That's for sure.
Yeah, he is. And finally, a pool system at the Tim Hortons Briar.
I like the round robin. That's for sure.
Well, what do you think of A and B pools, which they're going to go to? It sounds like.
Yeah, I like the format that they have right now.
You don't want to change it?
No, I wouldn't.
All right, there he is. He's against change, a staunch traditionalist, Denni Neufeld. All right, Denny, we finish, of course, we give every team or every athlete on the show a chance to name their sponsors. I know you guys have a boatload of them. I hope your jacket's handy so you can tell me all of them.
Yeah, we do. We have our major sponsor, which is Royal LePage, and then we have AFIG Financial Services, as well as Auto City Mazda and A&W Steinbach. We have crackberry.com and Bud's Gun Sale Lodge. Those are our major sponsors. We also are equipped by Performance, Brooms, and PCW, which is Performance Curling Wear, for all our clothes. So, yeah, we're well taken care of them.
And shoes from Asham, I guess, too, probably,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, Denny, thanks for your time. Good luck this afternoon, and good luck throughout the rest of the event. Nice to see a young team work hard and enjoy some success.
I appreciate it. Thanks, team.
That's Denni Neufeld on The Curling Show, a conversation that was recorded on day 2 of the Canada Cup in Medicine Hat. Whether you have dreams of playing in that event or just winning the 4th event at your next Bonspiel, Fit to Curl, the first book on curling-specific training by Olympic gold medalist T. Martin III and curling.ca blogger John Morris, will help your game. It's available at fittocurl.com and at Better Curling Pro Shops. As always, thanks for listening. Here's some December pudding.